Okay, guys, we're gonna do something different today. We're gonna look into the old internet because everybody's talking about the old internet right now, and and I think people actually don't even know what it is most of the time. People show you these little clips, but it's sort of thought of as like a you had to be there to understand it type of thing. So I'm going to try to do something different here, and I'm going to try to show you guys some of the stuff from the old internet, for better or for worse. And we're going to start off with a classic internet meme known as Boxy, and Boxy was a person from, oh, I don't know if this is 15 years ago, so 2009, probably 2008, 2009, who played Gaia Online, which was a thing that was very common back then. It was a chat room like IMVU. Let's pull these up real quick. Hold on. I need to be able to hear myself better. Like IMVU. So IMVU was like a chat room where you could create a persona and go and chat with people. It was normally outfits that looked like this, very emo, very street. Gaia Online was another one of these that was very popular. This is where Boxy came from, where you would make your character and go and hang out with other people and their characters in these little chat room zones that people made. And then the other one that people really know about was Habbo Hotel. And these were basically just ways to sell microtransactions to kids before anyone had any idea what microtransactions were. But you would make your character, and then everything in the game would basically cost you real world money. Every single piece of furniture would cost you real world money. And designing a room that was really cool would mean that lots of people would come to your room and hang out. And all you did in them was talk. That's all you did. There was nothing else to do. There were little puzzles and games made by the people, but all you did in them was talk. And Boxy came from this world, and let's watch this video so we can talk about it.
Okay, hi. So, my name is Boxy.
Man, it is so hard to look at already, and I mean nothing to Boxy. Boxy is a cool person. She still exists. She had some pretty wild stuff that happened. In fact, there's a video called "What Happened to Boxy." We might watch that after this, but this was a hard time to watch and to look back on. It was cringy. It still is very cringy.
It's been a while.
It wasn't at the time, though.
I made a new video, so I decided that because of recent events that I could make a new video.
You're cool, Boxy.
So yeah, so let's just start off by getting.
And by the way, every dude on the internet who was between the ages of 10 and 16 thought that this girl was so attractive. That's what pulled. It's so bizarre to look back on as a person who had this inexplicable crush. It's the old version of the Haktua girl is what this is.
A couple things straight. I don't do drugs. No, I know that you all think that I do drugs, but I don't actually, and I actually don't have ADD either.
She does, obviously. It's just undiagnosed. It's bizarre, you know? It's looking back on this, these are obviously statements that she's making about comments that she was getting from people who had either seen her first video or who knew her through Gaia Online. And you're left without so much context. Back then, people just put a camera on their face and just started going in this way that had no rhyme or reason. It was thought of as LOL random. That's the style of video that was being made back then. Some other really good examples of this are Charlie Is So Cool Like or Live Lava Live. Those were two that were extremely popular in the day as well for just having these sporadic jump cutty. Nothing had any kind of train of thought that followed it through. There was no purpose to the video. This is what a lot of us grew up on.
Which is funny to me. Yeah, and then another one would be, I provided you with a couple different pictures. Such as like the one where I'm like, and it says, I saw what you did there, and like, and then like you people's.
I mean, the energy is strong. You can see how Logan Paul got the idea for what he was doing, how Jake Paul got the idea for what they were doing together. The energy is there. People had it back then for sure. I hope that this is as hard for you guys to watch as it is for me. I feel like I'm seeing something I'm not supposed to be seeing. It's so weird, too, because this person is a full-grown adult now. I mean, they have a whole YouTube channel, right? And they have more recent videos. Am I wrong about that? I thought they had videos from like a year ago or something. Am I wrong? These might be re-up. No, they got a check mark. I don't know. I thought they had more recent videos than this, but it's so
We're
hard
all
to
like,
watch.
he was trolling, and I was like, I am not trolling. I am Boxy, you see?
Famous moment right
And
there.
I was
This
like,
is
I am
this
not
is one of the
trolling.
core
I am
foundational
Boxy, you
building
see?
blocks of the internet. I am giving you the history lesson that you need right now. As people who are out here missing the old internet or quote unquote don't know about the old internet or whatever, this is the old internet. It's so strange to me because we thought the internet had any chance of being anything other than what it is today. But if you look back and actually see what it was, you will see that it never had a chance of being anything but super cringy.
And like, and so then, and then there was another one where
I can't look at it. So Boxy had this really interesting situation happen to her. So let's actually watch the Sunny V2 video because I think that Sunny probably has a good video about it. Let's check
On the
this out.
3rd of January 2008, a 16-year-old girl from California by the name of Katie Wayne would upload 2 unassuming video blogs titled 4 Ant from Boxy and 4 Addy from Boxy to her personal YouTube channel, Boxy Babe.
my name is Bob.
No music, by the way, dead air, just old school vlogging style.
See, most of you know.
The videos were made with the goal of simply saying hello to 2 people she had been playing online games with.
Yes.
However, unbeknownst to her at the time, they would simultaneously make her one of the most recognized.
And this is that thing. So YouTube was just a video hosting site, right? And people hosted their videos there because they wanted to be able to send them to people, but they were completely and totally public. This happened for lots and lots of people. There were like small single-person messages that were being made, and those people ended up getting really, really popular because of that.
Faces in internet history. But this recognizability would be somewhat short-lived, as Boxy would become progressively less active on social media.
Boxy ended up disappearing at one point. I'm sure I'll probably get into this, but people showed up at her house. People went and found her. People were so obsessed with this character. It was so important to them that they had to go looking for them. And
until June
We'll get to
2017 when she would post her final video and completely disappear off YouTube. Jay Alexander put it well under one of Boxy's videos. It's so sad seeing YouTubers disappear. Is this how it ends? Boxy's accidental accumulation of fame began in 2000.
It's an interesting thing. I didn't realize that I was doing this until I took my little hiatus over the past couple weeks. I didn't realize that this was happening, but this is a really interesting social thing that's going on. When you start making content on the internet and you attract any amount of attention from people whatsoever, you are unknowingly entering into a social contract with the people who are watching your videos that you're going to be there for those people, that you're not just going to disappear and leave them with this thought in their brain of what happened to that person. And I didn't think about that whatsoever when I was doing it. Because I Twitch streamed primarily in the past, and the only times I made YouTube videos in the past, I never had any viewers whatsoever. So when I was Twitch streaming in the past, whenever I stopped Twitch streaming, it always felt like the viewers who were watching my stream felt almost relieved that they didn't have to tune in for my stream anymore. Nobody ever felt like, oh, where did you go? What's going on? No one ever felt that way. I never got those messages. Now, when I stopped doing YouTube, I didn't realize because it was so much. It's not, you don't have to show up at a specific time. You can come and see the video whenever you want to. You develop this sort of little relationship with the person that you're watching that it was something that if I disappeared, people were going to go, what happened to you? And I think that that's so interesting, and I had never thought of it before. And maybe you guys already knew about this. Maybe you guys already had thought about this. Maybe you've already done YouTube videos of your own. But this was something that never occurred to me whatsoever. And once you set your schedule for what you're going to do on the internet, people expect that out of you. And that's not a bad thing. I'm totally fine with that. I just didn't know. And I didn't think
with
about
nothing
it.
but an internet forum. Gaia Online was its name. An anime-themed role-playing website where you could build a virtual avatar, buy things from shops, and even potentially meet friends in the process. Katie Wayne, or Boxy as she was known in Gaia Online, would meet 2 seemingly insignificant individuals on the forum by the name of Admirable Awesome and Ant. And after conversing with them on the forum for some time, she decided she would make each of them a personal video.
So you would make these personal videos for people to sort of prove who you were, to show what type of person you were. Because in the old days of the internet, photos were so grainy, and also it was so difficult difficult to get a good photo of yourself. Even if you watch Boxy's video, you'll see that everything is completely black around her. There was no idea of video production back then whatsoever. No one really knew how to make videos look good on YouTube. And more than that, no one believed that you were who you said you were. You know, there was a lot of lying going on the internet and catfishing happening even back then. And even in the days of say, RuneScape, people just didn't believe that you were who you said you were, even though most of the time I found that people turned out to be who they said they were. I mean, I met lots and lots of people off of the internet who I had friendships and relationships with from video games that moved, you know, from game to game, who ended up being the same person, and I still know them today. And it's such an odd thing because I feel like even less now you can trust who people actually are, but nobody asks for these kinds of video proof from people anymore.
Yo, message. Oh, hey guys, I didn't see you there. I was too busy making.
Bro, I can't take it. Video. I love you guys.
Audio video. I love you guys. I'm gonna go get dressed and showered and try to look super pretty and take pictures. I'll get Ant's video done today for sure.
Okay, bye. Bro, it's so good. I love it, dude. I still put XD whenever I'm typing in things, and I still say bye in real life. Dude, the culture, we've lost the culture, truly. Nowadays, everybody wants to be cool. And back then, this was what was thought of being cool on the internet. And I'm not exactly sure where it came from, but man, if you didn't type like this, you were missing out. You were absolutely you were the adult in the room that nobody trusted if you didn't type like this.
KK,
for
bye.
sure. Like, you're adding more letters. You're not making it shorter. This isn't text message culture. You're not trying to lower the amount of characters to reduce the cost or whatever. You're adding more.
Please PM me. These videos would appear on her YouTube channel in the few days following.
I decided that I was going to make videos for people, and the first one was for my friend Admiral Awesome, and now this one is for Ant.
And throughout the two
Bro, the energy is so funny because I know so many people in real life who have that exact same energy. Like, and they all grew up during this time period and in this culture. So this girl's obviously, and I'm pretty certain, is a couple years older than I am. So you have to think, when you're a young person, when you're 9, 10, 11 years old, when you see someone who's 14, 15, they seem like an adult. They seem so much older than you. And it's so funny to look back now and see that she is a child for sure, but also to notice the same age group of people that she's in, and the people that I know that grew up playing D&D or World of Warcraft and all those kinds of games on the internet at this time that behave just like this, or you can feel the remnants of the behavior of this in their personality.
Videos,
it's really
Boxy
good.
displayed a personality that can only be described as bizarre. Upbeat with strange ramblings, mannerisms, and when mixed with her borderline emo physical appearance, the video stood out as incredibly unique.
Yeah.
However, as you might assume from what we've discussed, the intention was never for anyone besides
Dude, I hope he gets to the darkness
and
of all
Addy
this.
to watch these videos, and that's how it would remain for the entire year of 2008, until something strange would happen. The weird parts of the internet got a hold of the videos. In the 11 months between January and December of 2008, Boxy's videos were viewed by less than 20,000 people. And as time progressed, there was nothing that might have indicated that her viewership would begin to dramatically increase. However, on the 27th of December 2008, the video would be anonymously embedded onto another forum by the name of IamBored.com, with the goal of sharing her bizarre and borderline cringy personality. Users on IamBored.com would share the sentiment that Boxy Babe was an absolute nutbag, stating, "What the drat? This is the worst dratting video I've ever seen on this site. Holy poo. In the entire 4 to 5 years I've been on here, this has got to be the worst thing."
Even back then, people were critics. I find that really interesting because in the world that I lived in, this was like biblical, you know? The video of Boxy Babe was biblical, and the cringe was almost an ironic element to us, you know? The desire to get rid of your social anxiety when I was a kid was so high, right? Like the kids who would just be loud in class or at school at lunchtime and make nuisances of themselves were doing so to try to rid themselves of the social anxiety that was plaguing them. And behaving like this was not like this comment, but like Boxy was sort of an exercise in that method.
Thing I have ever seen. It has no point. Jesus Christ, this is terrible.
And it's so funny because I see videos that are being made like that today that I feel the same way about, but a lot of times they're by children, and I just go, who cares? Why would I comment negative things about this? This is being made by a child. I always find it interesting for people to be passing judgment, male 13 to 17, so who knows how old they are. But passing judgment on somebody else is almost giving more credence to that thing than if you just didn't comment about it. It's showing that that thing is important enough for you to comment about it. If a Nat 20 is a really good role, a Nat 1 is just as inspiring as a Nat 20 is.
She sounds like she has multiple personalities. I think I finally have hearing aids. After the 2 videos were posted to the ironboard.com forum,
internet.
the ratings over on YouTube would drop dramatically to between 2 and 2.5 stars each, displaying the negative attitude that forum users had towards
Nobody
Boxy's
knows who any of
personality.
those negative commenters are, by the way, and we still know who Boxy is.
Following this, Boxy's 2 innocuous video shoutouts would be shared to 4chan's B forum, embedded in a You Rage You Lose thread, challenging users to watch the full video without getting annoyed. Would Boxy
Is it still there? I feel like I can't watch it, dude.
once again receive an absolute hiding from 4chan with regard?
I liked it. That's the thing that I want to pull back up from my childhood is that I liked Boxy. I thought it was cool. I was interested, I was a little emo kid. I don't know if we have photographic evidence of that I want to show on here. Hold on. Let me go to my Instagram and see if I can pull up some old videos real quick, or some old photos of me from decades ago. I was a little emo kid, like I was totally okay with it, and I was excited by the concept of Boxy and interested in who she was. And I was young at this point, listening to My Chemical Romance and watching My Chemical Romance documentaries on the internet. Like, I know that it's cringy and I know that it's lame, but back then it didn't feel that way. And that's what I find so interesting about the whole situation of this. I'm getting closer and closer. I took way too many photos back in the day, dude. But no, I mean, it's a peculiarity. Oh, gosh. I don't know. You guys can go through my Instagram and look through if you want to. I'm not going to show any of these photos here. I'm not comfortable with them at all, in the least bit. Anyways, continuing on.
Regards to her annoying personality? Well, yes, but at the same time, no. As this time around, many users actually shared a rather different opinion. I'm 23 and I would marry her anytime. I would divorce my beautiful 26-year-old wife so I could marry Boxy. I need to find me a Boxy. Numerous individuals over on 4chan began to take a liking to Boxy for her attractive appearance and cute personality, ultimately leading to numerous questions surrounding who this girl actually was. Users began to repost her face all over the site, hoping that some—
Can I read that real quick? So it has been written in the Book of the Rose. Here we go. Jeez. I can't, because I'm expecting other words because they spelled it wrong. Hear me now, O children of B. Hear me, warriors of the net. For time and time again, you have been doomed to a life of turmoil, to wander the ages in the cyberspace, never leaving your mother's basement, nor shalt thou know the sweet touch of a woman's flower. For our savior Boxy came to us and you forsake her. You chose to fap instead of love. You chose to rage instead of love. You chose to troll instead of love. And when true love came, it passed you like the passing of the sun. Oh, hear me now, children of the dark Lord Moot. For as it is written in the stars, so shall it be spoken from my lips. For you have cast out our savior into the abyss and have thrown her into the shadow. So shall the same be unto you, even the great houses of A and V, and the houses of TV and Mu, and of K and HC and H and S, and even unto CO. For those that found solace in the world shall die with the world, and from one passing to the next, they shall wander like vagabonds in the emptiness of Tartarus.
who this girl actually was.
Dude.
Users began to repost her
People are crazy, dude. The internet, we got to talk about B sometime in 4chan and the way that screwed up my brain like crazy.
all over the site, hoping that someone might know who she actually was. As she became more and more recognizable on the website, the demand for finding out who she was became greater and greater. She would eventually be crowned the Queen of B, and it seems like a large majority of 4chan had a bit of an internet crush on her.
bro.
My dearest grandchild, let me tell you a story of the first simp queen of the internet. Children simp over Belle Delphine, men simp over Boxy. This woman had a rally of simps before the term simp even was made.
Yeah, dude.
But while most found her to be
I can't believe that troll was already a term back then. That's surprising.
there was
to me.
still the fair share of forum users who found her to
How old was I in 2009? 'Cause that's when those. But so This is '01, so January 2009. So it would have been before my birthday that year. 2024, I'm 29 now, so 2009 would have been 15 years ago. I would have been 14 years old. She would have been 16, so she would have been 2 years older than me, so I would have been 13 at the time.
Be annoying and childish.
Not quite in middle school or in high school yet.
Additionally, many were getting annoyed that they couldn't go anywhere on the beloved forums without seeing Boxy's face, and a strange tribal-type war broke out between those who loved Boxy and those who hated her. The event would eventually come to be known as the 4chan Civil War of 2009. As the craziness escalated, it was clear that something needed to be done. Approximately a week and a half into the Boxy explosion on both iamboard.com and 4chan, Boxy herself would address the public, uploading a YouTube video on the 9th of January 2009
Boxy,
titled For
I am
Everyone
Boxy,
from
you
Boxy.
see?
My name is Boxy, and it's been a while since I made a new video, so I decided that because of recent events that I could make a new video.
This video addressed some of the insane rumors spreading throughout the various forums.
I don't do drugs. No, I know that you all think that I do drugs, but I don't, actually.
And once again displayed Boxy with her over-the-top, insane, rambling type personality. 4chan was covered with the video from the second
Over-the-top, rambling type personality. Who could have those?
It was posted to YouTube.
Who would watch videos like that? Who would do that?
After 12 hours, it had racked up a whopping 70,000 views. Within 24 hours, it had racked up 300,000 views. And after a week, the video had gained a massive 1.2 million views, an incredible number for YouTube in early 2009. The Boxy Babe channel had gained 24,000 subscribers from the video.
When you popped on early YouTube, you popped, bro.
Which made it
Everybody who was on YouTube watched your video. Those were all the YouTube users.
Of January 2009.
There were not segments of YouTube. It wasn't that way back then. People were specifically looking at everything. And you liked some of the people and you didn't like some of the people, but you weren't on YouTube for how-to videos and you never watched vloggers. Everybody was seeing what went viral on YouTube. Make Me Bad 34, like I said, Live Lava Live, Never Shout Never popped from YouTube. These things were all... Everyone knew about them, and the culture was there. You could go to your lunch table at school, and everyone knew who Boxy Babe was if they were a group of people that were on YouTube. It was very bizarre. The front page of YouTube was effective, and getting on the front page of YouTube meant something really special. It meant that you had a chance to make a YouTube career, and a lot of those people are still around. The Vlog Brothers, Hank and John Green, Rhett and Link are still around. There's tons of people who popped then and are still here now because of that.
Overall, Boxy had gone from a relative nobody in December 2008 to an online...
The pedophile Onision.
By mid-January 2009, only 30 days later. However,
Asmon never really popped from there, and that's what I think is so funny. Someday we have to do a video about Asmon's life and just talking about the insanity that is that person and his whole career, and the things you can see him saying on the internet if you go back far enough.
For many, what they had learnt about Boxy so far was simply not enough.
My favorite Asmon video is the one where he talks about how he has to wear his headphones at all times so that cockroaches won't crawl into his ears.
Addressed both their fans and haters with this third video, but the viewers still wanted to know more about the identity of the girl behind the Boxy channel. For this reason, a vigilante group of 4chaners would launch a creepy story.
And meanwhile, I was just in the dark hills of West Virginia on some shitty cable internet speed link that it's so bizarre to think about the way that I was interconnected to this world through these cables that went from place to place, and just how much I didn't even know that I was living inside of the movie that I wanted to be living in at the time. That the things that I was imagining happening in my brain were actually happening to me, and I just had no idea at the time.
A project by the name of Operation Valkyrie. The goal was to hack Boxy's YouTube, Facebook, PhotoBucket, Gaia Online, and MySpace page and identify the individual behind the channel. A few insignificant photos were found, however, as a whole, the operation was somewhat of a failure. That would be until weeks later, when another group of around 11 members who called themselves the Center for Boxy Control and Restriction, or CBCR, would attempt to dox Boxy once again.
Dude.
After some further searching, members of the group would find an old video from 2006 posted by an individual resembling Boxy on a channel held under the name of Satisfaction.
I'm gonna try to climb that fence over there, and it's kind of dark, so I don't think you can see it.
By comparing both the face and voice of the girl in the video, they quickly realized that this was Boxy, who had identified herself as a girl named Katie.
Hi, my name is Katie.
And also included her nationality.
I I'm Greek, dude. I know. It freaked me out too.
The channel that the video was posted on was linked to a MySpace page stating that Boxy was 16 years old and was from California. Throughout the process, the 11 members were also able to crack Boxy's password to her YouTube channel. And coming from a point of hate, would private the 3 Boxy videos, replacing them with a single video titled Dear Boxy, stating that if she were to upload any more videos, they would leak her personal information to the internet. The event—
Bro, this kind of behavior is so fucking stupid. Like, it irritates me so bad that this ever happened and that this still continues to happen, that people feel this way about themselves. Like, we're so fucking cool, dude. We're fucking hackers, dude. We're gonna threaten this person who just uploaded some innocuous videos to the internet that we in our culture actually are the ones who made enormous and made them the problem that we now are upset about.
It would prompt even news outlets.
How bored do you have to be of your own life that you're creating stuff like this on the internet to go and threaten other human
to get
beings,
involved?
children?
Publishing stories such as Boxy's proxy war, stating one side determined to marry her
Square up, little boy, you know?
and the other
Square
to
up,
wipe her
homeboy.
out. Eventually, the
I will swing, man. If you ever feel the need to hack somebody else, just meet me, man. Meet me in public. I just want to talk.
hackers of her
Just wanna
YouTube
have
channel
some
became
words.
self-aware of the damage being done to the girl and would give the channel back to Boxy, stating that her videos were annoying and affecting many people throughout the internet. However, she definitely doesn't deserve to have her life ruined. Boxy now had her channel back and was free to make videos once again, but her motive for doing so was now in question, as the whole thing had certainly warned Boxy about the dangers of having a public persona. Possibly as a result of this realization, Boxy would then disappear completely. In March 2010, Erlesk would rank her iconic video at number 104 on its list of 100 most iconic internet videos. However, Boxy would never discuss such a
Didn't make the
ranking.
list, huh?
Forums continued dedicated to their love for Boxy, but
Why is it a list of 100, but it's number 104? I don't know.
Katie herself would never acknowledge any of them. It seemed as though Boxy Babe had completely disappeared, leaving many people asking what had happened to Boxy. Well, after 2 years, that question would finally be answered. During her break, while keeping a relatively low profile, Boxy had created a second channel by the name of A New Hope in late 2010. She would then upload an update video titled Things Are About to Get Intense in January 2011.
I have never seen any of these videos. I have only seen the original Boxy stuff. That's all I've watched.
Like, maybe not. Who knows? That's the fun.
Approximately 2 years after the iconic 4chan war that had made her so famous.
I would never want to spoil myself of what I remember Boxy being by updating it in my brain.
In the first place.
It was a moment in time. It was completely unimportant after that moment. It's the same way with Live Lava Live, you know? It's the same way with Charlie Is So Cool. Like, it's the same way with Alex Day, with all those people. For me personally, now this has nothing to do with their career. They're allowed to continue having careers, obviously. They're going to make new fans over the course of their career. But for me, they were that specific moment. You know, Mitchell Davis is the guy with the long hair and the glasses and the going to McDonald's with Kyle, or Wendy's with Kyle, and going to the park and all those things. That's what Live Lava Live is to me. Charlie Is So Cool, like, which, by the way, I'm pretty sure I'm dead naming Charlie, because I think that that they're a woman, and they've transitioned, and I don't know it there because I haven't looked at it, but I saw that at some point in my life. So apologies. I'm just calling them by the name that whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyways. And those people are what they were in those moments to me. You know, the TARDIS rock, the Doctor Who rock band that they had, all those songs. I still listen to those songs sometimes. Like, these things are what they were in those moments for me. And when I think of the old internet, this is what I think of, you know, this place that I existed and lived on, the logging into Neopets, the logging into Adventure Quest, the playing RuneScape, the looking at YouTube videos in between these stints, going around and exploring things, playing video games or playing Flash games, playing on Newgrounds, going to AOL.com, these really iconic, Nicktoons.com, these really iconic experiences that other people will never know what it is to have anymore. People will never understand what it's like to not have a gaming console that has the power of a spaceship ever again. When I was a kid, the computer that I had access to could barely run one window at a time. And the things that you were forced to do, the low-res games that you were forced to play, created the necessity for creativity in ways that the modern experience no longer creates a necessity for. It was rare to have a video camera back then. Boxy was a person who was difficult to understand, or who is difficult to understand now, because back then it was a rarity to be able to actually film yourself with video and it looked decent. This was extremely uncommon. Everyone has a video camera now. Everyone makes videos. Everyone understands good lighting. It doesn't mean what it did then. It was different. The technology was worse, and it created this sort of culture of making everything your own. RuneScape was a game that was made good by the fact that they wanted it to be able to be played in browsers on library computers. So they had to figure out how to make the mechanics of the game really amazing with terrible graphics and visuals. And that's something that people don't understand. You have access to League of Legends and Valorant and Fortnite and all these games that are amazing and free, and you will just never understand what it was like to have to live in a world where you were so pigeonholed by the technology that you had, because they don't make technology that bad anymore.
Included in this update video were multiple motives for why Boxy had disappeared initially, citing unnecessary hate as one of the main reasons.
People would just be saying like these really mean, awful things about me, and I was like, oh. And I didn't really want to be there because I felt really, hated.
Regardless of the hate.
No, totally, dude. I 100% get that, and that still happens today. So the comments that I see on the internet are absolutely terrible nowadays. Not here, the videos here, great, you guys do great. But when I look at other people's posts that have blown up on, say, Instagram or whatever, dude, I never want to do that. I never want to have a post blow up on Instagram, because people just say the meanest shit imaginable. Nobody likes you. Everybody is a hater. Everyone imagines that they could do it better, even though they totally couldn't. We have really fallen super victim to the concept of I can do it just as good. I just haven't because I don't want to, which is a thought that people had before, but now people really truly believe it. I mean, look around at you and your friends and ask yourself how many of your friends are actually properly famous on the internet. The answer is probably 0 of them. So imagine how difficult it actually is to become properly famous. The only thing is that we're so segmented as a culture now, especially on the internet, because there's so many people on the internet, that people can have multi-million view videos and audiences without you having any idea who they are. So you just assume that there's some rando who just got lucky, but you know nothing about them or any idea of what's going on with them. Your mind is giving you an illusion, because the truth is really hard and complicated to understand, because we've never had it happen before in all of civilization.
Katie would return to the Boxy Babe channel with a video titled For Svetlana from Boxy.
Svetlana, isn't that Trump's somebody?
Approximately 2.5 years after her initial explosion.
Politics aren't my thing.
My name is Boxy, and I was just surfing on the internet.
However, the issue was that after 2.5 years, Boxy's meme status had declined dramatically, and her videos would get fewer and fewer views. Additionally, much of Boxy's magic was embedded in the fact that she was kind of mysterious.
It was embedded in the fact that Boxy didn't know that this was going to happen to her. So the videos were made in a vacuum, and then they were released to the internet, and there was no, I'm trying to become famous, so I'm working at this and trying to make this happen, and I'm watching this and know this is happening. She was gone when it happened. People went to her house.
And people always wanted to know more about her. So as she uploaded more and more videos to the Boxy Babe channel, she became more familiar to everyone, and the magic surrounding her mysteriousness began to dissipate. Viewers could also feel the authenticity falling out of every single video. In the beginning, it was quirky because you could tell that she was genuinely just this overly excited girl in her late teens who was acting the way she was in order to avoid the awkwardness associated with sending a video to another stranger on the internet. But as time progressed, the character felt more and more forced, like she was simply trying to appease the audience. Boxy would post her final video to the Boxy Babe channel on the 10th of January.
And I said this at the beginning, and I'm saying it again now to really push the point home, this is something that I did not realize was happening, because it didn't happen in any of my other content creation on the internet before. When you put yourself out there on the internet, finding any form of success whatsoever will always leave you with an open-ended contract to other human beings to let them know what you're up to, and your method of doing that is the content of which you create. And it's It's an odd thing, man. People form bonds with other human beings, and it's not something they can control. You do that the more time you spend with somebody. If Asmund disappeared for completely off the internet, never saw anything else from him again, 30 years would go by and people would still be wondering where he went. I listened to a show called Hello Internet for multiple years of my life between CGP Grey and Brady Haran of Numberphile, and that show went ghost during the pandemic, and they never said anything about why that was. Both of them still make content, both of them still have other podcasts, but they've never really talked about why that is. That was a huge culture, and people still want to know when Hello Internet is coming back. You are the success, the people knowing who you are will always open the door to a responsibility to those other human beings. Now, some people can shirk responsibility and some people can't. And you just have to know that you are capable of protecting your own sanity while keeping up with that responsibility. This sounds dark, and this falls into that puddle again of Cole can talk about things or can think about things that would bother some people and don't bother him. This doesn't bother me. I don't have a problem with that responsibility. I'm happy that people want to know that I'm okay. I like making these videos for you guys. The whole reason that I didn't make the videos before is just because so the business we've been, just to be straight and honest with you guys, the business we've been running for a long time just fell into a dead patch. Our financial situation got kind of screwed up. We went to Florida for a vacation. We both got COVID on that vacation. It really screwed up our and then I was working Instacarting like 16 hours a day just to make ends meet. And then I also had to be doing schoolwork as well because I was falling behind in school because of how difficult the thing was getting. And I just didn't have any free time. And so I just let this thing go because at the time I was only getting like 70 views per video and it just didn't feel like, oh, this is a directly viable thing for me to be using my time on right now. But, you know, I still enjoy doing it. I had plans of coming back. I had plans of making 2 videos a week. That just fell through as well because I just was so fucking busy the whole time. But like, you know, you have to learn what your relationship is with the people who are on the internet looking at you that aren't just people you know in real life. And a lot of us, myself for sure, never really had to do that. Everybody that I had ever met through the internet prior, I turned into a real friend because they only came 1 or 2 at a time. And over the course of doing this, I have found 10 to 15 people who now show up regularly and comment and say things. And it's hard to nurse 15 relationships at one time. So then you have to figure out what your relationship is with those 15 people. It's just a whole thing. I don't want to get into it. It's not your guys' problem. It's not even a problem, period. I just find it super interesting and it's on my mind all the time. And this Boxy thing is such a good representation of it.
January 2014, leaving the 10 videos on there as an ode to internet history. Boxy would continue to upload videos on the A New Hope channel with various personal pieces of content, but they were never the same as those uploaded to the Boxy channel.
So I was kicking around some holiday video ideas.
The viewership dwindled as time progressed, and on the 5th of June 2017, Katie, or Boxy, would upload her final ever YouTube video titled What It's Like to Be a YouTuber, explaining why.
See, I find Boxy so interesting because she was never trying to be a YouTuber. She uploaded these videos because she wanted to say hello to her friends, and then she got an audience, and with that audience, she tried to have a career. But she never had a type of video that she was making. She accidentally made her first YouTube video.
Why she no longer had any interest in being a content creator.
Someone like Mitchell Davis was trying to be a YouTuber.
The video included points such as an excessive amount of hate.
They hate you. They hate everything about you.
The fact that there's no...
Yeah, but fuck them, you know? The people who don't like me, like, fuck them. Who cares? I don't care. I like me a lot. It doesn't matter. The people who can't get over the hate have not been on the internet long enough, in my opinion, because that's just what people do on the internet. They pick out the things they don't like about you, and then they talk about them. But what you have to realize, this is the secret, is that they probably aren't real. And if they are, they're obsessing over you in some kind of interesting way. Or they're children. That happens a lot too. Their opinions don't really matter. Who cares, bro? You're putting yourself out there. It's fine.
Money in YouTube.
By the way, no Zen again today. I had one Zen last night. I've had one every day for the past 3 days now.
Oh, money in YouTube?
Easy, dude.
At least
3
for me.
milligrams of
YouTube was-
nicotine is nothing, you know? Just legitimately, and I wasn't even addicted. I just like having a Zen.
Wasn't something she even wanted to do anymore.
If YouTube was what I wanted to do, but it's not. It never was.
And finally, that she simply no longer had.
She accidentally stumbled into it. YouTube is something that I want to do. I wanted to be here. I still want to be here. If it ever comes to a point in my life to where I don't want to be doing YouTube, I want to do something else. There's something else that's very obvious to me of what I should be doing with my time. I'll let you guys know, and I'll move on, and I'll probably make a video every week or two, or just whenever I feel like it or whatever. They might not be reaction videos anymore, but you know, I think that moving on to something else is totally okay in your life. That's how I got to this point.
Had the time to make any videos.
I don't have time to do this thing that ultimately makes me miserable.
And this was kind of the end of Boxy's YouTube journey. She hasn't uploaded a single video since this one almost 4 years
Quitter.
later. However, that wouldn't be the end for Boxy. In 2017,
do what
she
you
landed a
gotta
role
do.
voicing a character on the Disney show. Additionally, Boxy's voice would be featured on a game titled Boxy Quest, which attempted to satirize various aspects of internet culture. More recently, and most interestingly, Katie Wayne aka Boxy would put up the original For Everyone from Boxy video up for sale as an NFT to her Twitter page. It was
Wow.
stated that the winner of the auction will get to take home a piece of internet history, and after 4 days of bidding, an individual by the name of Doe would successfully purchase the NFT for a price of $26,425. Boxy's story as a whole is a reminder that even the most
crazy.
unassuming individuals can get caught up in the craziest scenarios, occasionally
Yeah.
when it's completely out of their control. And as displayed in Boxy,
And I feel bad for people like that. I think that a lot of times we sort of hope that the algorithm will shine on us and make us something that we don't even realize that we are, you know, push us out into the limelight. But honestly, I'm not interested. I like making the videos. I like flying under the radar as much as you can on the internet nowadays. Terrifying, you know, the concept of just all of a sudden being in the spotlight and people going back through your entire life and picking every single little thing to death without your best interest in their heart. Terrifying.
Boxy's final video, being given the burden of fame doesn't necessarily mean you'll be able to handle the negatives that come with it. Boxy stated that in the beginning, the fame was a negative, but by the end, it had given her everything she ever wanted. So what happened to Boxy? Well, seems like everything seemed to work out for her just fine.
Well, good for Boxy. That is the old internet. That's the first. I think I'm going to do more of these at some point. This is digging up the old internet thing, because there's so much of it. There's so many interesting things that happen, and especially if Sunny has videos, and if I can sort of link some stuff together and plan some things out, this could be a really interesting thing to do. Like I said, Live Lava Live is a really big candidate for it. That whole British YouTuber scene with all the people who really were the first people that I ever saw being canceled on the internet, like Alex Day and Tom Milsom and Ed Plant and all those people. And let me get the name now so that I don't have to. Just so that I don't have to keep dead naming this person. They still go by Charlie. Everything is fine then. Charlie McDonald, indeed.
On the 3rd of January,
With that whole culture and all of those people, I'm just really interested in all this stuff. You know, the internet was such an important place for me growing up. Developmentally, it really gave me a whole bunch of who I am as a person today. The culture that I came from was specifically internet culture. You know, the cartoons and things that I watched growing up, a lot of anime, it all was being watched on the internet. You know, I was watching subs of One Piece and Naruto and Bleach and things every single day of my life on sketchy websites. I was on 4chan and looking at different posts and figuring out about all these memes and sending people the craziest videos that you could possibly imagine. I was playing all of these video games with my friends and meeting more people through those, and then becoming friends with them on other websites and building up my social media account that way. I mean, when MySpace came around, when I started having a MySpace, I had so many friends that were from video games. It was probably a ratio of 3-to-1, my friends from video games versus people I knew in real life. It was really an interesting place to live and grow up, and that is where I lived and grew up. I went to Christian school. My family was very religious. It was hard to meet people who were interested in the same things that I were. People didn't know what RuneScape was until I was in middle school and met kids who actually did. So my life was spent on these games and in these forums, learning and meeting about, or meeting and learning about people who I would have met in real life or never had the opportunity to, because I wasn't in the same places that they were, and my parents were sketched out by those types of people. So when we talk about getting rid of the old internet, which I have no idea what that even entails. Like, it's just such a sad concept to me that these things, I mean, it's already gone. The Gen Alpha or whatever the next generation is will have no idea about any of this stuff. They won't even, the ties of this to the Gen Zers is going to be gone. I mean, it's so bizarre to think about, but it's the truth. Anyways, that's the video for today, guys. Be safe. Give Sonny's video a like. Obviously, I'm already subscribed to Sonny. Be safe out there. Peace.